Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Pokemon Legends Arceus. What's that on our back? Oh no, it's one of the most tedious quests in the game.
Oh, right, this
Oh
one. Oh, freaking
no.
Wingdings, Mon.
Oh lord! If I got to this point of the game myself, I would just roll my eyes. I don't like unknowns.
I liked Unknown in Gen 2, the original Gen 2, when it was actually really novel to have that kind of thing going on in a game, let alone a handheld game.
I like the concept of unknown.
It gave the Johto setting something really unique. But like no. Please no.
So the thing about unknown is it's very undercooked in Gen 2. Like there's this one area with ruins, and granted, it is a fairly expansive area. It's all optional too, which I also appreciate.
It's a fucking 8-bit handheld game, so what
Yeah,
are you
but
expecting?
here's the thing about unknown. Trying to get all of them's a fucking chore. Because you have to like press certain buttons in the ruins in order to unlock more letters, but it doesn't delete the chances of getting the letters you've already gotten. So trying to get that like 24th and 25th and 26th letter is a pain in the ass.
Bah. People
And-
enjoy shiny hunting.
I mean, I don't. So, but here's
Speak for yourself.
but
motherfucker.
here's the thing for me. Like it's a neat idea to add some flavor to the world. But with that said, it feels super self-contained. Like I forget about the unknown every time I play Gen 2 because it's like it's shut in the corner and it's not particularly fun. So like I don't do it. It would have been neat if more like, and granted, this is the part where it being an 8-bit game gets harder. Like if they were able to sprinkle little like hints and pieces of unknown stuff throughout like other areas of the game, like randomly in other caves you might see an unknown string and be able to like process it or whatnot. Like that would be neat. So I feel like it's an undercooked world building thing. Number two, it takes up 26 goddamn sprite slots in the game's data, and the Game Boy Color cartridge can only hold like a potato chip's worth of data. That's
Could have used that slot for another
yeah.
character.
You could maybe it could hold another save slot. Oh my gosh, another save slot in Pokemon, shock and horror. Or just like another 10 real Pokemon, for lack of a better word, might have been neat too. So I wish that if they were going to do something with them, I wish that they actually did something with
I
them.
think they did add a little more in Crystal, but you're right, there wasn't a whole lot there.
Not anything super substantial.
I liked the idea though, and at the time it was a really intriguing mystery to explore,
Yeah, but nowadays people just use it to spell boobs for their Pokemon team, if they're feeling immature.
Well, I mean, I feel like I'm alone in the universe when I say I appreciate the in-depth things in video game world building, but
I do too. That's why I wish they actually did something with that.
I actually read the flavor text in World of Warcraft when I play it, so I guess I'm just a freak.
Yeah, and so it's also one of those things where in this game, I do kind of like, when you actually read the wingdings in the unknown log, and then you like figure out what the hint is for the unknown. And I think that that's like a fun little puzzle. It doesn't actually take up that much time to do it. The thing about this game though, for like dumb world building bullshit, is the garbage that you actually need to have played the Gen 4 remake in order to figure out the solution to some of the side quests in this.
Or just look it up online.
Yeah, but like I hate, having to look it up. Okay, I'm going to backtrack on that. There's exactly one instance where needing to look it up online was a good idea. In Ukulele in the Impossible Lair, there is a hidden something, like a hidden coin or whatever. And the hint that you get is, this one's hidden somewhere in the world. Look it up online, what the answer is. And that was legitimately a very funny joke. But when you're like expected to like, I don't know, just fucking look it up, that just drives me insane.
Well, going back to the unknown, part of what made that interesting at the time was that unless you got the strategy guide book, you did legitimately have to solve the mystery yourself. And Pokemon was developed at that time where developers were actually incorporating, actually fucking decipherable mysteries into their game design instead of just obscure secrets where if you rub up against a specific wall and hit the use key, it'll open.
Don't you want to learn Braille?
Oh, the Braille in Ruby and Sapphire pisses me off because they already have a made up language in this universe. Why do they need to make a second one?
Wait, what made up language?
The unknown.
The unknown or just English?
Yeah, but that's the point.
I mean, they're just English letters with an eyeball attached.
Yeah, so then just freaking use the English letters you already have and don't make us learn Braille.
I think it's because I think they wanted to have their own sort of unknown.
I don't care. You can't read Braille on an LCD screen. It doesn't have bumps.
Imagine if they made like an entire different set of Pokemon, but it was represented with Braille.
Well, I mean, yeah, using Braille in a context where you can't actually feel them with your fingers is a bit silly. But at the same time, if you're playing video games, you're not blind. You're not going to be learning Braille by touch anyway.
Yeah,
so
I'm sure Daredevil appreciates the ability to read one side quest in Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire.
Daredevil would not be able to read that Braille. It's on a screen.
Daredevil's one weakness: computers.
Oh.
Do they bring... I'm trying to remember if a computer screen's ever brought up in Daredevil. Ever. I mean, I'm sure it has, but, like, I know that, like, Daredevil's touch is, like, so fine-tuned that, like, he can rub his hands over a written letter with, like, ink, and he can feel the difference in height between the ink and the paper and read like that. But, like, I would imagine the way that they describe it, like, if someone's like, hey, Matt, check this out, and they shows them porn on his computer, he's like, fucking screen, I can't see shit.
Hey.
But yeah, I mean, Ryan, you say that this is the most useless quest in the game. I think the Spear Tomb quest is worse than this one.
I said second, but yeah, that and the spirit too.
Oh, you said second? Yeah. Oh wait, actually no, third, because the freaking Weasel quest where you need to get a big enough one.
You can ignore that though; and still get 100%.
Still better than any of the side quests in Scarlet and Violet. Am I right?
Scarlet and Violet had side quests.
Exactly.
You see, that's the stuff like this is what Scarlet and Violet really needed, is stuff to make the world feel more alive. Like, they did a decent enough job in the towns, but there's so much blank spots in the overworlds that it just feels super
just fill
empty.
the whole planet with item sparkles. Put a TM here and a TM there, and maybe one of those glowy pull the pin things for the legendaries.
So actually, this is something I've been thinking about a decent bit since I've been playing Tears of the Kingdom. In that, in Tears of the Kingdom, a lot of the times when you like go and climb up a thing, your rewards are fairly lackluster. It's just like, oh, what's up here? Korok Seed. Okay.
Why are you climbing in Tears of the Kingdom? You should be strapping a rocket booster to your shield and flying up everything.
Listen, I only have so many rocket boosting shields. All right, jeez. I did go through the whole game without building the hover bike because I did have some artistic integrity. I wanted to make my own stupid shit.
Oh God, it's that one creepy Pokemon from Detective Pikachu.
Oh, I forgot how creepy they made Mr.
There's a
Mime
lot.
in Detective Pikachu.
You think creepy? I think uncanny. I wouldn't say creepy.
Uncanny is
though,
creepy.
the word I would use.
It's just a form of creepy.
No, because I think if you want to say creepy.
Well, the reason it's uncanny is because it creeps you out.
No, then why even have the word uncanny?
Because it's a
So you
specific
can
kind
have-
of creepy.
Yeah, you can have nuance.
Look, the English language has 6 different words for the same thing most of the time. So,
Fun fact, different languages have more words or less words for certain things depending on how often it's used. For example, I think it's like one of those things where the Eskimo language has multiple words for snow, but only one word for sand because they don't see sand enough to have like different types of sand.
It's an invisible wall maze.
Yes, it is because Mr. Mime made all the walls.
Yeah, this was clever. Mr. Mime was like a big asshole in Detective Pikachu, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe so. Yeah. It's been a while since I watched the movie myself.
I haven't either. I watched it in theaters and I haven't watched it since. Although, to be honest, the last time I actually sat down to watch a real movie has been a long time. Am I a weirdo for thinking that movies are too much commitment?
Uh,
I mean,
So it's a guy who
like watching a whole bunch in a
I
row.
mean,
Yeah, I would
no,
say.
I mean, people. I'm more in the opposite end where I think movies are too limiting.
Well, okay, so that's so let me elaborate a little bit. Like, watching any single episode of a show is only 45 minutes long most of the time, or less.
Who
So you can
watches
just,
only
like-
one episode in a sitting?
Yeah. I love watching only one episode in a
To
sitting.
people with other shit to do, I guess.
It's great. Versus like, oh, I have to find like 2.5 hours to sit down to specifically watch this one thing. Like,
You
am
don't
I a
have
weirdo
to.
for?
You can pause the movie.
Oh no, you can't.
At that point, you might as well watching a
With
TV
my
show.
attention span, I won't remember what's going on. If I pause a
Same,
movie,
actually.
so like let's say it's 4:00, right? I watch the first hour or so of a movie. Then I get up, I run some errands, get dinner, come back. It's 8:00 p.m. I don't remember what the fuck's going on. Also, it like kills the mood. I need to. It's like that's why I enjoy reading more than watching movies, because reading has really good set stop points. You get to the end of the chapter, or even to just like a good break in a chapter where they like have that little line where it's like, okay, this is a break point in the chapter. It's like you could put the bookmark in and you're good to go. You can read 5 minutes, 15 minutes, 2 hours. You can do as much as you want. But a movie, I need to have 198 minutes set aside for that one piece of cinema. And god damn it, I don't have 14 hours to commit to a Lord of the Rings extended edition marathon right now. All right? Don't you have a life? Because I don't, but I want to not
My
live my
life is
not
watching
life.
Lord of the Rings extended cuts.
I'm trying to math it out in my head and try to like, is the Lord of the Rings extended edition actually 14 hours?
It's at least 12.
This is
Hold
like
on.
I know Return of the King exceeds the 5-hour mark.
Return of the King's that long? Hold on.
No, it's not 5 hours.
In extended, let me see. Hang on.
Hold on. We have
answer-
the internet.
Well, I don't even need that. I have the frickin' movies on my computer. Hang on. I just switch it over to all. Okay, so I know that the Hobbit trilogy movies are all shorter, which is amazing because they all feel so much more bloated. Fellowship of the Ring extended edition, 3 hours 49 minutes.
Okay. The
Two Towers.
The internet says
3 hours 56 minutes.
the internet says that altogether it's 11:23:59, but that includes all of the credits and shit.
Oh,
And
okay. So
if it's all cut together, it's 11:06:56.
I got
but,
it wrong. I got it wrong. Return of the King is 4 hours and 24 minutes.
Good.
But I mean, also, like, I don't care how hardcore you are with that freaking Lord of the Rings marathon. You're not watching the whole thing in one sitting because
I'm not gonna judge too harsh because I did watch Zack Snyder's Justice League, and that movie was
But why?
how long?
But why?
Well, because legitimately, I think it's a much better film.
I mean, yeah, but at the same
then
time,
the thing-
why?
Because I was curious.
I mean, better's relative. Like, breaking an arm's better than breaking both arms, but doesn't
I
mean
like
it's good.
I wouldn't say this.
I
is
like
big.
how the Raichu is basically being censored by The Rock right now.
Oh man. Oh yeah. So Zack Snyder's Justice League is 4 hours and 2 minutes.
Oh god.
But it is broken up into chapters.
You can't pause it.
You probably would have an easier time watching that because you know exactly where to
Well,
pause.
so here's if you like watch The Sound of Music on TV or whatever, there's like a moment where they like halfway through the movie where they have like a 2-minute section where they're just playing orchestral music and showing you pictures of the Alps.
Intermission?
It's like that's like in the theaters, that's your cue to get up and go pee or get more popcorn. I'm not kidding.
Or the theater attendant is switching to VHS cassettes.
Look, my big thing though, as far as movies versus television goes, is that I'm like 90% sure the only reason movies are still super prominent in our culture is because the movie theater industry in Hollywood really want you buying tickets at movie theaters. So they pour way more money into movies than they do into television productions. But very, very slowly, over time, we are getting over that distinction. And we are getting more streaming shows and shit that have a high budget and high production values.
I think like Secret Invasion had something like a $200 million budget or whatever.
And then he used AI for its intro cutscenes.
Yeah. Marvel, why?
I don't see the theater experience ever going away.
I mean, it's like
it doesn't need to go away.
I don't see it going away, but I see it becoming much more like theater or opera, where it exists, but it's not something you like. Because there was a time when I went to the movies like every month, or every other month, and pandemic notwithstanding, I haven't really been to the movies much at all, lately because I've had other shit to do. So I think that we might get to the point where theaters, just become more of a once a year, once every 2 year kind of thing. Look, I think that's very possible.
We don't need theaters specifically for movies anymore. Theaters can be more of an all-purpose thing if they want to be. Theaters started out showing serials,
I would, I mean, I feel like the problem is that with that kind of thing, and I know we're at the end of the part, like just having something on to watch made more sense in a world before TVs existed. And even then, just turning on the TV and watching what's on isn't something a lot of people do anymore.
All they need to do is lean into theaters as a social experience. That's wholly different from just sitting down in your home and watching a thing,
Yeah. I don't know. I go to a theater experience and enjoy the movie in a theater, but not necessarily for a social experience.
The other customers are always the worst part of going to the theater.
They can have different rooms of different sizes in different parts of the building that serve different functions. They don't all have to be a big movie theater room.
If you go to a movie theater to sit in a utility closet with one seat and a television just to get a different experience, go home. Like, for God's sake.
Not everyone can afford to have a big living room with big ass speakers hanging out of the ceiling and a huge television set, okay? I'm
assuming you already have a house, though. And if you're going to go to a theater
I sure as fuck
and
don't.
go to like a dinky little room
in
with
2023
thing, I'm just saying, if you're already living in a household, fine, I'll use that language. You want to go to a theater just to watch like a dinky ass television with one seat just for a different fuck you.
I don't want one seat, but there was this theater that I went to when I was in New York, upstate New York, a while ago. It was just this little dinky theater. It had like a bar and cafe in one area and a few viewing rooms. The viewing rooms were, a big projector screen and some nice sound systems and a bunch of sofas. And I think there were like 3 people in there because it was just this little theater in a small town, right? But it was a very pleasant experience, And it was wholly different from the big mass market, traditional movie theater experience that you can find everywhere else. And we watched some old CGI movie there. That was all. It was nothing super amazing, but it kind of opened my eyes to the idea that movie theaters can be different and still be unique, a fun way to spend your day. But if you're just going to a theater by yourself anyway, what's the point of sitting in a big ass room with 100 other people that you don't give a shit about? That's my thought process.
To watch on the big screen.
When people go to the movies, they go with friends or they go on a date a lot of the time, or they go with their families.
No, not me. Fuck people. I just like watching the movie in a theater. That's it for me.
Okay.